We are now live. Sorry, that's false start. False start.
Oh.
We are live.
False
start. We are now live.
We are live, gamers.
Biggest band day in EDH history. Goodbye, Joe Lotus. Goodbye, Manacrypt. Goodbye, Nadu. Goodbye.
Adios, amigos.
Goodbye, Dockside.
Not who.
Okay. We're gonna go around. We're
Who?
gonna give everybody's first.
We don't talk about Nadu.
Alex. How you
Go,
feeling?
Alex. Do it.
How's that Malcolm tattoo on your back going?
I mean, the Malcolm tattoo it now has a tear on it. He's smiling, but he's got a tear on it, dude. I'm pouring out my cold brew for Malcolm. Just yeah. Like I said, for those who watch the videos, I play Malcolm any chance I get, and now you're gonna the frequency of the Malcolm presence is gonna start to sizzle down a little bit. It's just a sad day. It's a sad day for turn one Malcolms across the board.
Yeah, harsh. Two pieces.
I'm so sad.
They're gone, man.
Crucial pieces too. I mean, it's like. It's just all the chance of me dropping turn one, and if those of you that actually play Malcolm decks, like playing a turn one Malcolm is just so advantageous, and now losing out on that advantage, even if it's just a slight percentage, I mean, it really just does enough for you to you have to play catch up. But I mean, if you really have to rely on hitting those very key pieces now to just play that turn one and be able to be in the same position, and it's just going to get a little bit harder now. And I'm curious to see if it's still viable. It might turn into maybe a more of a grindier mid-range option with no early plays, but who knows? I mean, maybe it's just like rely on Ristic or rely on Mystic, you know? We'll see what happens, man, but dropping a tier.
A fair turn 3 Ristic study, right?
Oh, dude, don't even say that.
One hand drop per turn.
You can still turn 2 just fine. I don't know. It feels like a lot of like to a point that we made before where we accidentally forgot to start recording. I mean, turn 1 Malcolm's really good, but like if everybody's missing a Mana Crypt and a Jeweled Lotus, that means the entire percentage-wise everything's going to slow down a little bit too. So your turn 1 Malcolm won't be as necessary. I don't think. I think you get a turn 2 Malcolm and it'll more or less kind of be the same thing.
Yeah. The issue that you run into, and I always feel like whenever I make this play, is if I don't do it and I go turn 2 Kedis and turn 3 Malcolm, or even just turn 3 Malcolm, everybody else is just so far ahead where it's like by the time I get to swing with Malcolm, you're playing with fire and it just hits a chain of vapor or something that's just gonna bounce it, and it's less chance to get that, at least the treasure on turn 2. And that's what makes it a little bit more rough. It's still very viable. I can't kick the deck out of the meta, unlike maybe a dragon that we know. But
Give who?
Corval?
Oh, I thought we were talking about Corval. Yeah, Corval.
Oh, 2 dragons. That's 2 dragons, dude.
By Corvold, by Niv.
Yeah.
Dude, people are gonna start saying Niv missed it, dude.
Can we really call it Elder Dragon anymore? Can we change cEDH because all the dragons are gone, right?
Seriously,
Evan,
rough days.
What was your first reaction, Evan, when you saw the devastating news?
It kind of felt like unbelievable, I guess. It's like, I remember when Alex saw it after we'd already messaged each other, and he was like, is this real?
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. I mean, it is cool that everyone gets hit the hardest when they're banning colorless cards, so that's cool. Logsai already didn't use JLo, so that's kind of okay, you know, that didn't, or actually that's worse for us, because Rogsai already didn't need it, and now the decks that play it can't play it, so it's a lot harder to cast Crown without the JLo.
Yeah.
But I feel like my first reaction is every deck that's not red is better now.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's what's jumping out. I think Timna Thrasios back on the menu. I think we should cook some fishy Hulk lines.
Yeah.
See what happens. Kinnan, way nastier now to me.
Yeah, Cannon got a massive buff. Half of, like, most of them were just running Crypt. Like, most of them weren't even running Jewel Lotus. So, like, that's gonna be rough.
Yeah, I think the best Malcolm deck in the format now is probably going to be Malcolm Timna after this.
I mean, has it not always been? Is that just...
Hey, well,
sorry to throw shots here, but like,
debatable.
Is it?
Debatable, dude.
Is it the best one?
Yeah.
Debatable. I mean, just like based off the fact that it gets to use Smothering Tithe. Smothering Tithe is gonna be kind of like what really just like propels the Esper Malcolm build, is just being able to generate that treasure in that way, as opposed to, you know, piecing out piece out Dockside. You know, you can't really like generate that big turn. So Smothering Tithe is gonna be a pretty key card, I feel, moving forward with that.
Yeah. Well, what was your first reaction there, Wayne?
Dockside and everything that used to hate on Dockside. And I think you'll find that there's like 5 to 7 slots that are just open now. That you can just do whatever you want. So I got to be like
what?
Or Umbral Mantle or back in my favorite pieces. Like all these things that you're like 101 to 104th card. You're like, oh, okay, cool. Cloudstone is garbage in my deck now. So we take that out, and I can put like stuff that I wanted to use before. And yeah, it's a hit, but in theory, like if it hits a lot of things and slows things down, I think that's better overall for the game. I definitely was a little sad that they didn't hit like Bowmaster's Oracle. Like it just red got hit, which sucks for me, I guess. But I'm kind of like, okay, well we'll adapt. We're supposed to be like cEDH players, right? We're supposed to be like competitive. So we get thrown a hurdle, and like what, you guys fold to the first stacks piece? No, you just engage with it and try to work your way around it. Get creative. I hope this breeds a little bit more creativity in the space. You know what I mean?
Amen.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people making some very valid points out there about like how they did and everything, but I think that's overall my gut reaction. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, my first thing was like, I can't believe the bastards did it. Like, because like Dockside, Lotus, like just
Let's
like
go!
staples kind of the format, you know, and
Yeah.
But like obviously as like a Tivit player, like one of the worst things is Dockside, and it's always like, oh man, like if I cast Tivit and I just pass the turn, I would just put 5 freaking artifacts on the board in addition to whatever else I had, and I'm just feeding Dockside.
There.
Yeah, and so I'm just like I'm looking at stuff like Dauntless Dismantler and Blind Obedience and things that I can tame down the Dockside, and so deep down I wanted the Dockside banned, but I knew it was selfish because of
an echo, you guys. Sorry, Scott.
Echo, yeah.
People in chat are watching.
Yeah, is it any better now? I made a couple clicks, and hopefully it's better now. So let us know if it's better. If it's not, I don't know what to do. Same setup.
Sorry, keep going about Pivot.
Yeah. So I mean, like obviously not having Mana Crypt and not having Jewel Lotus hurts Tivit, because Tivit's a big fatty commander that needs mana to get going, but he wants the game to go a little bit slower anyways, and I'm rarely relying on Jewel Lotus to get Tivit out right away. I'm usually just ramping into it other ways, even though turn 1 Crypt being gone hurts, but now that but if everybody loses Crypt, then it just everything's like you're saying, it slows the whole thing down, and we're back down to a little bit slower of a meta, and hopefully if that means that we're like maybe it's like a turn slower, like maybe like the whole game just go one more turn or something like that, because we don't have that explosive start, but that's where we're at. I'm excited that it's going to open up, like Wayne said, it's going to open up some new slots. So I was already looking at like, okay, what do I put in? I have like 10 cards on my considering list, and it's like, okay, two cards like real quick out of Tivit are gone, obviously, because there's banned, and then there's the like 3 or 4 cards that I have in there that are like about Dockside, clones, reanimate. Like, do I even play those anymore?
Right.
So
100%.
Yeah. I mean, I
What are you gonna put in?
I was already fooling with. Let's see, what have I? Like I might put because I had Ranger Captain out, and I mean maybe Ranger Captain goes back in. It's a good card, and I had just taken it out because I was trying to deal with other stuff, Academy Manufactor, boom, my little buddy back in. Easy peasy. Because one of the things with
That's true,
yeah, one of the things with the Academy Manufacturer is that it would make all these food tokens that I can't get rid of, and then Dockside comes on and like, okay, I have like 20 artifacts I can't deal with, and but Academy Manufacturer is so good in the deck because it negates how people vote. I automatically get 5 of everything, and so that was like the first thing. I was like, yeah. So I don't know what to do about the Echo.
Is that still hanging around?
Yeah, I'll let you guys talk.
I mean, I've been muting myself when I don't talk.
Yeah.
That might help.
Talk for a bit, and I'll look on OBS and see what I can do.
I think it's on. It echoes when you say something, Alex. Might be coming out of speakers, or there's a setting on Discord called noise suppression.
I mean, it's not echoing. I'm not
see what happens.
Echoing. It's just echoing on the stream. So who knows?
On the stream, yeah. But I didn't hear it on your voice. Everyone but us, Scott. Allegedly. Curtis!
I made it.
What's up, Curtis?
Parkour.
Parkour!
We're just trying to
there was.
So go ahead and
Parkour!
Lay it down for us, Curtis.
Sure.
Tell us.
Yeah. So I was prepared on time, 10 minutes early for the stream. We're getting set up here before we went live, and power went out at my house.
Liar.
I am tardy now. I mean, we have we took some notes, then we kind of shared some ideas before this, but just from a super zoomed out view, this is the biggest change that has happened in this format in a very, very long time.
Ever.
So we will see what that means. As far as getting into specifics, we can hold off on that for a little bit, but one of the things very specific to me is that my deck that I have been playing for the last 6 months is Blues Clues, and that deck doesn't really do the thing without Dockside. So I am gonna have to be going a different direction. While the power was out at my house and I was waiting to get back on with you guys, I literally started taking things out of my deck to pivot to playing a different deck that I think is largely unaffected by these changes that we will talk about in a little bit. But
That's honestly heartbreaking, man. I'm sorry.
That is tough for the
Did Curtis freeze for you guys too?
Curtis's power went out. Oh, he's back.
Yeah, he's back.
Alright,
We were just saying condolences to you, Curtis. We couldn't hear you. You froze for a second.
oh, sorry. Yeah, well, I appreciate your condolences, but yeah, crazy shakeup in the format.
4 went out for the Blues and their clues.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys will be fine. I don't know. To me, it's just kind of like my opinion's generally been like the good players will figure out something new to do. They'll figure out.
Wow, so I'm bad?
Evan, you're gonna figure out a different deck. You were just saying a different deck that you wanted to play.
I'm actually excited to play Tim Nephrasios for the first time.
Right? Like.
Yeah, I think Gaia's Cradle stock just went way up on Gaia's Cradle stock.
Yeah.
Like,
What do you think about
actually,
There's still a bonus
What?
around to ping all those dorks that are fueling the guy's cradle.
get out of here, play Spell Snare. Freaking play, I guess you can't play Lightning Bolt in Tim Nephrasios, but you can play Swords to Plowshares. How many times is Path to Exile getting a basic land?
Not very often.
Very infrequently. Yeah, exactly. Path to Exile is like pretty free. What else?
Path to Exile is only bad against Nadu, and now Nadu's banned.
Yeah, exactly, right?
You can stop a Bowmaster with your own Bowmaster.
Yeah, right. Clones.
And if you have one, it's not a problem.
Well, yeah. So
let's see what else, gamer.
I've been fooling around with there was a Juladoc deck that won this tournament up in Seattle.
A what?
Juladoc. The Void Gorger, and it's the colorless Eldrazi, and so I've been playing that thing.
Oh.
And it definitely is hurt by not. I think like artifact decks are definitely hurt by not having Mana Crypt, because like Mana Crypt is like the best artifact, obviously, right? But they're also, by not having Dockside, they're helped out a whole lot because they're not like being held hostage.
Yeah, instantly punished just for existing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I think it's interesting to see if we want to kind of head into our document. What decks do you guys think get the biggest buff from this?
Oh shit.
Biggest buff. That's a really hard. That's a really question.
I think.
Go ahead, Scotty.
I think artifact enchantment decks. I mean, like Sithis, was that ever really even in contention? Those kind of things. But I think I think Tivit comes out actually good on this because Tivit's bad matchups were Dockside, and so
Dude.
Yeah, I think
that JLo hurts Tivit super bad though.
It does, but like I was saying earlier, like I don't often cast Tivit on the back of JLo. It's there sometimes, and it definitely helps, and like it makes like turn 1 Urza Saga. It was always a play for me because I know by turn 3,
what?
I'm getting Jeweled Lotus and I'm getting Tivit out. I feel like being able to slow the game down though with other items and then getting Tivit out is still a viable play, and I'm not fucking up the board by dropping a Tivit with 5 artifacts and now now I gotta sack my treasures and sack the clue because I don't want to feed the Dockside and everything like that. So I would say mono green decks, do they get better? I guess, but
Oh yeah.
I mean, some people were saying Oswald, Tameshi, ones. I mean, Crypt is obviously hurts a little bit, but like Tameshi's pretty much untouched. Well, I guess Jeweled Lotus and Mana Crypt hit them too in that way.
I mean, Yuriko is to me going to be the deck that I'm going to deep dive in. Because I mean,
Yuriko is eating well.
I think Yuriko is poised to. You're going to see a lot of Yuriko players jumping for joy after this, including myself. That was my first cEDH deck, so. Including me, I'm like, I can play ninjas again, you know what I mean?
Heck
I
yeah.
mean, so, I'm kind of poised to jump back in that direction as well.
Well, one thing that when I realized it, when it hit me, I realized, oh, wait a second. My Mages is free now. It's the downside to a Mages the Moon is like almost nothing. Oh, I'm gonna fuck up some decks, man. People aren't gonna be ready for it.
Oh, because they can't fight your Magus with their Dockside, is what you're saying.
Right, because the downside to Mages always, or Blood Moon is always, that you still give them red mana so they can cast their Dockside, which then color fixes. So then you put one person way ahead, and then nobody else is able to counter them because they got red mana, unfortunately. But now it's just like, everybody's stuck. Hell yeah.
Maybe Izzet can play Magus of the Moon, Blood Moon, and Harbinger of the Tides. And Boil, or not Boil, Ruination.
Yeah.
All in one deck, just basics them out.
These mid-range strategies, like something in the middle of the game there, I mean, decks are going to get real interesting now. Because that's where I feel like a lot of these decks are going to thrive now, when you start to take out a lot of this fast stuff and you kind of jump into the middle of the game, and that's where you're going to see a lot of the decks excel and start to like really set up their turns and just jump ahead of the game. Because now it unfortunately the early game stuff gets hit, but it's like, dude, you can drop all these like 3-4 drops and just shut people out now. I mean,
a big one for me that I. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you.
No, you first.
I was going to say, a big deck for me that I think it's a huge buff from this that was really, really struggling specifically because of Dockside is Kinnan. I think. I think Kinnan.
Picking off like a bandit.
Yes, Kinnan is partying right now. Kinnan is like.
Kinnan needed a buff.
Yeah, well, because Kinnan, I think, had really fallen behind. Kinnan really fell behind because there were all these early Dockside-fueled wins from Rogsai and other decks, because Kinnan would spit out a bunch of rocks, set up its Kinnan plan, and then Rogsai or other deck would be like, actually, turn 2 Dockside. Guess what? All that stuff you set up is going to fuel my win con right now, and it's not going to matter.
Also, it's like... Go ahead.
Before you got on, I'll make it very short because I don't want to reiterate, but before you got on, I was actually saying that like this Zerda and Kinnan both actually work out pretty well. As much as it sucks to not have Dockside, it was always like a plan C in my deck. So like there being a premium on infinite mana now, that is not as easy to just up and down on Dockside. Whoa, exactly, just like that. Up and down in Curtis's lap. It makes the ability to make infinite mana quickly much harder, you know. So yeah, I think Zerta and more so Kinnan for sure. It's crazy.
It's going to be interesting too, because in decision making in green, right? It's like you're always like, all right, if I'm anticipating a Dockside, I'll just go grab Collector Oof, and now you don't necessarily have to make that decision anymore. I mean, you could if you want to, if the board state is like, you know, Soul Ring and all the other rocks that are going to get slotted in. But if the game's not there yet, you don't have to worry about like, oh well, if I don't slam a Collector Oof and this Dockside comes out next turn, I lose. I mean, now it's a little bit more of a telegraphed play for, you see opponents like, okay, well they're going to drop this like 1-drop artifact and a 2-drop artifact and this mana rock. I don't necessarily have to go that deep into my stacks play now, and I can actually progress my board state as opposed to worrying about yours. And that's that alone, like Kinnan and not having to worry about playing a stack piece and just playing another dork or something that's gonna feed into Kinnan is gonna it makes the thinking way more straightforward.
Yeah. Well,
heck yeah. Insane Goon said in the chat about Timna Thrasios' thoughts on Devoted Druid and Machine God's Effigy. I think Timna Thrasios could be a crazy all-in infinite mana just the whole time. What's the card that makes something into a vehicle? Swift Reconfiguration, Devoted Druid, Machine God's Effigy, all that stuff, and Protean Hulk. And there's a new Protean Hulk line with Samwise that gives you Grand Abolisher and an infinite loop of draining life through like some food token Cauldron Familiar thing. So I'm excited actually to brew a cEDH deck again.
What?
So
Brewing?
Of like top decks like Rogside, Blue Farm, kind of the same decks, but then we also have Sisay. Like I think Sisay is hurt pretty bad. But like I mean, they can do the lines through the dorks that tap, but the easiest line for them was Dockside, and you know, Dockside flickers and loops and whatever the fuck they were doing. I think Sisay takes a big hit. I don't know about Rogside. I think Rogside
got better.
I think it might come out of this.
Sorry, it's not a better deck. It's better in the meta.
Possibly, I think, because you know they can easily win without Dockside, without Mana Crypt. Yeah, I mean it makes getting.
Well, like they already don't play J-Lo.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
It makes getting to the Adnos a little bit harder, but you know.
And also after Adnos, post Adnos, like Born Upon the Wind, cast a Dockside, fix the mana, or even just like the Frox, one less free rock is actually pretty relevant with that deck. It's the reason why I'm not cutting Dauntless just yet, because it's still good, like Adnos, like it's still good in that way. Even if Dockside's not here, the artifact hate is still there.
Yeah, I might from Tivit just because it's not as necessary, I think, now, but you know, we'll see. I'm actually considering Lion's Eye Diamond for Tivit since I lost Jewel Lotus. Like, if I'm down to like 1 or 2 cards, or even if I can just slam an early Tivit, and you know, that might be worth it.
Yeah, I want to add in in the chat. Someone said rest in peace to Tali. So in the chat, I want to see all the rest in peace decks that all the rest in peace commanders. I want you guys to post them.
Yeah.
I poured one out for Malcolm. I'm gonna pour one out for Atali. I'll pour one out for Niv. Pour one out for Corvold.
I think a big one is Or sorry, what were you saying, Scotty?
I don't know about Urza. I mean, like, definitely not having those 2 free rocks in Urza suck, but Urza's another one of those artifact decks that if it doesn't get going right away, it's sitting there with like 10 artifacts on the board, and it's just fueling that Dockside. And maybe Urza just goes a little more stacksy, playing the Harbinger, and playing the Back to Basics, and some of the blue stacksy stuff, to slow down the game a little bit.
Ooh, R.I.P. to Vesh.
Ooh.
Dude,
R.I.P. Godo?
Is
I mean,
Gog-
we didn't see too much Godo.
Oh,
Godo's fine because everybody else is gonna be slowed
What
down.
are you
and just
saying?
Godo will be fine. You just
Godo-
want thieves instead.
Count to 11. Count to 11 minus the best 3 cards in your deck. Get fucked.
Godo is now no.
Yeah, no.
I guess the dark side hates Godo. That's fair.
Poo.
I mean,
Here's the other thing to consider is I mean, first off, Scotty, LED for Jeweled Lotus actually is not that bad of an idea. I might consider that. But also, what are you guys going to be running now that like probably you cut half your clones, right? Like, what's the plan for that?
I can speak to that if you want, because I just made those cuts.
Lay it on us.
So, just out of I don't know that it's going to be my main deck going forward, but just out of ease for right now, I'm pivoting from Blue's Clues predictably to Blue Farm because those lists are not that different from each other. So as far as like, obviously Blue Farm was running 2 to 3 clones depending on the list because cloning Dockside's super good. And if Dockside's not around as much, you don't need to run those clones because, you know, the cloning effect is much less relevant when it's not attached to a huge piece of mana acceleration like Dockside. So I think that you're going to see a lot of those Blue Farm lists or lists that are in that space of mid-range decks that have some turbo potential, and a lot of that turbo potential maybe was attached to Dockside. Pivot to all of a sudden a lot of their sort of classic mid-range toolkit pieces are going to come back into the list. You know, you're going to see Dranith around a lot more. You're going to see Toxic Deluge around a lot more. You're going to see Opposition Agent come back into the list.
Oh no! Can we leave that one? Can we ban that one? Smothering Tithe, adding to what you're saying, Curtis.
Yeah, Smothering Tithe for sure, and you know, perhaps maybe if you know, now there's room to have 13 or 14 counter spells instead of just 12. You know, maybe you see
just 12.
You know, miscast comes back into play a lot, or Spell Pierce, or you know, those sort of
Spell
like
Snare
or Spell Snare. Either one, or and you know, maybe.
Who needs spell
Yeah,
snare
you're saying
who needs spell snare when Dockside's gone?
I'm countering Bowmaster.
Yeah,
Or what's Strict Serenade?
Yeah, I think we can see Strict Serenade.
Yeah, you guys don't need Strict Serenade anymore, guys. You don't run that card. It's a bad card.
I put Strict Serenade in.
We got
over the spell snare just because it hits more stuff and it hits bigger stuff, but what were you gonna say, Alex?
Is Magda fully cooked or what? Someone in chat asked Magda.
I got RIP Magda.
I think Magus is gonna be okay. Like it's consistent enough. Dockside is obviously a great like I'm behind and now I cast Dockside and now I win anyways. But it's consistent enough that I think you can still get away with it pretty well.
I'd be interested to see if a lot of people start to supplement it with like a Burgie. Just because
I'd say if you're not running Professional Facebreaker, that's an option as well.
Professional Facebreaker gets a little bit better.
Well, and your point of like Blood Moon and stuff like that, if they're not already on, if you're not playing that Staxy Magda, I think leaning into that the more Staxy Magda build, maybe even like whatchamacallit, the Atrinosphere and stuff like that to kind of slow down.
God Pharaoh statue.
Yeah, any of that.
The God Pharaoh statue. I want to see more black decks playing Grim Hireling now.
Yeah.
Make combat good again?
Make combat good. Give you those treasures,
all
man.
about it, baby.
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
Speaking of combat stuff, I wouldn't be surprised for like Tymna decks if we start seeing some Sarah Ascendant make a resurgence.
Oh yeah,
love that card so much.
Makes draws, makes it so off of Tymna, makes it so you can Naz for more cards if you've gained life. Puts a hurtin' on the Rockside life total early. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some of that.
We should do like a stream and play these decks against these decks.
If only we had a channel that we could play cEDH games on and then broadcast it and see how it goes.
We're gonna do that this week. We're gonna play all the decks we think are getting better. Or decks we think didn't
better
get
that are getting
bad.
worse. That'd be really interesting.
Either way, you could be like, I think Malcolm's still playable. Fuck you, and bring it.
Look, guys, all I'm saying with Dockside out, we're just making room to play cEDH staple, Brass's bounty, 7-drop sorcery, create a treasure for each land you control. Let's go.
So create 3 treasures is what I'm hearing.
Exactly.
Preston's saying, doesn't this make artifact decks better? I feel like Urza will be
It
better.
does. That's why we are very excited about it.
Yeah, I think, especially stuff like Tivit and Urza and any of these ones that's looking to like accumulate like more mid-rangey, accumulate artifacts or enchantments. Same thing. Either way, I think those do get a lot better. Obviously, not having the big mana slows you down, but if it's slowing everybody down, I think the big boogeyman is still going to be Rogsai and see how they handle that. If they can continue to have those consistent like early game Adnaz and early game Storm wins, or if losing Crypt and Dockside is just too many pieces gone that they can't like recover from, you know.
We got somebody in chat saying, "What's Sisse gonna look like?"
I think Sisse is not going to look like anything. Sisse is going to look like a tombstone.
Just say goodbye.
I mean,
pour one out for Sisse.
There's non-Dockside related lines in Sisse, but it definitely will be a lot harder and definitely be a lot worse in that way. I do have to head out, guys. Unfortunately, I can't stay for much of the stream. We're headed to the Pasadena League. Shout out to Ben for organizing that for people who want to swing by.
You're about to go play cEDH right now?
Yeah, we're about to go test out some of this ideas and see.
Banlist cEDH day one.
Day one, and see how it goes.
Heck yeah!
I'm not even a little bit later than Wayne, but I am going to the same event, and we got the announcement this morning that the event would have the new ban list applied to it. And I was like, cool.
Wow, you guys are leaving us.
This is a question though. I guess I can leave on is like
do some research.
I don't know. Right, do some research, but also like part of me, like I have held off buying a Dockside for a while. It was actually funny because I was just about to buy that or a Mox Opal next for the deck, right? And I was like,
get that Opal now.
They might ban this at some point, right? So I was like, no, not Mox Opal, Dockside, right? So I did.
They won't ban Dockside. They won't ban Dockside.
So, but like. The thought crossed my mind, like, okay, if I don't have Dockside in my deck, what does it look like? You know what I mean? And I've been thinking on that for like a couple months, and I don't know, am I the only one who's had that thought? Or like, unlike the blue players, have you guys been like, okay, if they ban Risk, what would happen? Right? Like, what do you do? I'm sure someone else has thought of that, but I'll leave you guys with that question. And, you know, best of luck, guys. I'm going to go do some field research.
Yeah, Wayne.
All right, Wayne, hold it down. Out of here.
Yeah.
Oros Armory.
I think those are great questions, but I think one thing that we can take away from this is there's probably not going to be any more bans for a long time. I agree. I think they're going to let this sit and let the format adjust, because the last banning we got was Golos, you know, and that was just like a single ban.
Whoa. That was the last ban?
That was the last ban in Commander.
Hull Breacher wasn't after that?
No, it was before.
Wasn't Hull Breacher after that?
No, it was before.
Whoa.
So I think, you know, I think they're gonna let, you know, and I think it's a good thing. I think having the ban, like whether or not you agree or disagree with the cards, and it's gonna hurt everybody's deck to a certain degree, I think having the ban is a good thing, because the whole thing with this like other rules committee wanting to pop up and you know, take away all the bullshit drama with that, but just with the idea of having a rules committee just for cEDH, I think this puts that to bed, because it's like, okay, the real Commander's Rule Committee is still active, they're still making bans, they're still looking at the format, and while they may not be looking at cEDH specifically, I think if you look at what they say in their things or why they're banning, it's totally understandable why you would ban these cards in a casual format. And if we're playing cEDH, I think the whole point is that we're taking this casual format, whatever the rules are set forth by the rules committee.
Exactly.
We're taking this to the absolute maximum power, and we're gonna fight on their grounds. If they say this is legal, this is we're gonna use the card because it's the best card that we can put in the deck. If they say it's banned, then we're not gonna play it because they say it's banned. We are absolute maximum power. Get your mana pick for your mana crypt. Oh.
You said, it used to be. That used to be cool.
I just ordered 400 picks.
Oh my God.
Hey, there's other cards to flip coins.
Cancel the order. I know, I really like what Scott said, and we have to harp on that for a second. The point of this format, the inception of this format, the format before any of us played it, everyone, I don't think anyone watching here was one of the first cEDH players, there's just not that many of them right now. When they were there, the whole point was to push the boundaries of the limitations they were given. That was the point then, and it's still going to be the point now. So to go and break away, I think in some ways is to say like that nothing ever before it mattered, because the whole point of it the whole time was like, yeah, you can't use prime time. Why? It's not even that busted. Look, this is the casual setting, okay? Do you accept? And all these people accepted. I think it's a little maybe off-putting that they were dormant for so long and then coming out with the shell shock, but I think there's a lot to it, and if they start trickling out that this might happen, it's actually worse than whatever they just did. And it's like people were complaining about inaction, well now it's... I think this has to do with Jeweled Lotus getting reprinted in Commander Masters, Mana Crypt being in Lost Caverns of Ixalan. More people than ever have these cards. Dockside and Commander Masters as well. So more casual settings than ever are being impacted by these cards that weren't made for it. And again, we got to push the boundaries of these limitations. So I think it's exciting to that end.
Yeah, and I think
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, and I think like looking at like what didn't get banned, like Soul Ring, like I get what they're saying, and I think Thassa's Oracle is the only sort of standout that like because it's such an easy quick win. But if you look at the context of casual, like casual polices itself. Like if you go into any random spell table game, like nobody is playing Thassa's Oracle. Like if you go to like a high power 8 or 9, there might be somebody playing Thassa's Oracle, but they're gonna say ahead of time, hey guys, I'm playing Thassa's Oracle, is that cool with you? This is what my deck is and this is what my deck's doing. And people are gonna kind of use that rule 0 over that one card. That one card is so polarizing, and everybody understands that like nobody likes that card in casual, and people do not play that card in casual because nobody.
They hated it.
Yeah, they hate it.
I mean, that's the whole point of it's the whole point of that turn 0 conversation, man.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what it's there for, People harp on it because it's like you said, it polices itself.
Yeah, and I think Thassa's Oracle is bad for cEDH, and if Commander was a format like Modern or Standard, I think Thassa's Oracle would get banned in a heartbeat because it's just bad for the it's just bad. I think it's a terrible card. It
stifles creativity.
Oh, exactly, and
that's the Wizards of the Coast quote.
Yeah, and it goes and it makes decks win too fast and things like that. But like we said, people police themselves with it, and so it doesn't show up in casual, so it's not gonna draw the attention of the rules committee, and so that's But then again, we're back to this is the ground that we're on. These are the rules that we're playing with, for it. I'm excited.
Absolutely, that just goes back to casual being the priority.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I think part of moving forward is you're going to start seeing, to a point that we want to make, is a lot of these cards that weren't necessarily seeing the light of day because there's just better options, but things like all the talismans and medallions and cost reducing and mana dorks here and there, or mana rocks that produce color and colorless, like there's all these things now that could possibly see way more play. I mean, like, I would like to see Nykthos being played more. I mean, I know there's not a lot of like devotion, but it is a way to generate mana if you're willing to build your deck around it.
Yeah.
And then there are a lot of ways to untap lands. And I mean, you have all these things at your disposal now that could, you know, create some sort of, you know, maybe it pushes some fringe deck over the edge, and all of a sudden it's a viable option. You know. Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Mono green.
I'm-
You gotta love it.
I'm curious, like just talking about like substitutes for Mana Crypt as like, you know, do we see a lot more Grim Monolith now? You know?
Yes, and Mana Vault.
and Basalt.
And do we see a lot more decks throwing like City of Traders into the lands?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I'm even thinking like, because I'm playing Dark Ritual, but I'm not on Cabal Ritual, so like, it's that little bit of ramp. Is that a good trade, or do I go to because I'm running 2 of the 3 talismans that I can run for my colors? So do I switch over and put in the black-white talisman, or do I just go with other? Maybe like another low drop, draw engine, or like I said, like Lion's Eye Diamond. You know,
You play Ancient or City of Traders?
I'm on Ancient Tomb, obviously. I'm not on City of Traders, but
Right.
you know, it's a possibility, or like Crystal Vein or something.
I mean, yeah. More people are definitely going to be. I mean, I shouldn't say definitely, but I mean, it definitely gives incentive to play Urza Saga a lot more now in decks that didn't necessarily play it, because you want to hit that Soul Ring and you want to have it. Now that you don't have, so now you'll see decks that were cutting it. Maybe they slot it back in there and just guarantee that they can at least get it at some point.
But not having the Crypt or the Lotus to get off the Saga definitely makes it a less good card. Too big hits.
Oh yeah.
Because I was that was me for like Tivit. It's like, you know, either I'm getting Soul Ring, Mana Crypt, or Jeweled Lotus were the 3 big hits to get off of it. And so like 2 of them on. It's still good, and I'm still gonna play it because there's still Soul Ring.
Sure.
I mean, but
Mana Vault.
Soul Ring, Mana Vault,
Grafdigger's Cage.
I mean, I cut Grafdigger's Cage, but you know, maybe that goes back in.
Mox Opal.
Mox Opal's there.
I wonder if Mox Opal is like map a little worse now, but also because artifacts are better, we can play more and they can play them more safely. So I feel like it's maybe better.
Yeah.
And like Chrome Mox, Mox Diamond, those spells are getting way they're not more powerful, but they're just like even better when you get them.
Right. Well, yeah, because they go up higher on the list. Anything 0. I mean, I've said since I started playing the game and getting into it, like you can't have a Mox Sapphire, but you can have a Mana Crypt. Like Mana Crypt taps for 2.
Right.
Mox Sapphire taps for 1. Like Mana Crypt is like
Makes blue and it deals you 0.
Yeah, but you get 2 mana. 2 colorless mana is better than 1 colored mana, like 9 times out of 10.
For sure.
And the card deck, any deck, you know, like obviously if you could run them, you'd
I don't know, man.
run the Moxes, but I mean, you know, Mana Crypt is a
Mana Crypt can't cast the Necropotence.
Yeah, well.
True.
But yeah, I guess while we're on. Yeah, while we're on the topic of artifacts, though, I mean, it's like now we could just talk about all the gigantic artifacts that people were playing that they can't play anymore because it's just too slow. I mean, like people were slotting in like things like Bolas' Citadel, and that's just such a pivotal piece of certain decks. And it's like dropping a 6-cost artifact that you have to dump more resources into doesn't sound as good anymore. You know, it's like people were starting to play Chamil, and that was cool, but it's like, do you want to play that now? Like, I don't know.
I will say I think most of the decks that were playing those cards and may still play those cards were not casting those cards to get them into play. I think there was there were some Goblin Welder shenanigans occurring.
Yeah.
Other things of that type of tomfoolery, you know?
Yeah. True, very true. Definitely true. That is a good argument for it, most definitely.
And then maybe that stuff becomes better because then you're able to have, that sort of thing where like you got to play the welder and then you got to wait for it to not be summoning sick. And like, that was like the window where like someone would be like, dockside party.
Yeah.
And you'd be like,
it could open the door for sure.
Yeah,
I see that happen. I'm definitely like those mid-range strategies, man. They're gonna start to pop up, and people are gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I forgot that was good."
Exactly.
And I think we might just see slower games because every red deck that could run dockside, it's not like you're just running dockside and you're getting value. Like you're running dockside and you have one of like 15 different cards that you can combo with dockside to get infinite mana, whether it was Emil or Chthonian Nightmare now, or like
Cloudstone.
Yeah, Cloudstone. Run down the list of cards that can combo with dockside, clones and whatchamacallits, the
You mean like this card that I just cut?
Baron.
Hi.
Dropped. Oh, jeez.
Yo, we got EK in the chat.
It was nice to know
EK is one of the editors for Commander at Home and stuff like that. We met at Command Fest LA.
What's up, EK?
Yeah, they're talking about Enchantress stacks being opened back up by Dockside getting removed. And I know we were talking about it already, but it's crazy how long we've been in the format where the fabric of it is very, I'm gonna hold back and then try to do all of it on one turn, or I don't want to, like Scott, like, I don't want to just play Tivit and pass. And then there was already a Kinnan player that went off, and then now we passed to Alex, who went Mana Crypt, J-Lo, Kinnan, or frickin' Malcolm, Kedis, keep going, Dockside, make 15 mana from you idiots and win. We're all so Dockside pilled because we're either casting it or we're playing around it, and it's like hard to stress how crazy it is that you can now play as many enchantments as you want or as many artifacts as you want right into the board and not be worried about just losing because of it.
Yeah, I mean, I might cut Reanimate because 80% of the reason why I have Reanimate in my deck is to steal someone's Dockside. So there's it frees up a lot of slots and makes the games a little more interesting. I think Sithis, like I've played in pods where people are running Sithis, Enchantress, and that's like if that deck gets going, like that's a gnarly deck. If they can turn one of their stacks pieces, one of their rule of law, deafening silence kind of things. It makes it,
I just played against Ben Brode on Sithis.
Yeah, because they're playing enchantments, but they can just slowly trickle them out and draw cards and gain life and slowly trickle out these stacks pieces and then slow the game down. So it'll be interesting to see like if those decks and that's the natural thing, right? Is like these turbo decks gain a lot of power and then the stacks decks come in and check the turbo decks, and then the mid-range decks come in and win over the stacksy decks and then the turbo decks. So this ban list will definitely do something to mess up the format a bit.
Truly.
I think like the two biggest things with the format in terms of just general shift, like not super specific stuff, is that two of the top four big decks just got taken out in a single day, which is crazy. Like
Which
Sisay,
decks?
Nadu.
What are the top four decks?
Blue Farm, Rogsai, Sisay, Nadu.
Yeah.
Dang, and then Sisay and Nadu taken out.
Just
what? To be honest, I don't think the Nadu deck's got hit that bad. I think they can come back from this.
Okay. Okay.
They only lost one card.
Yeah, they only took out of the one card.
I mean, they didn't really need Joe Lotus, right?
Crom is a lot harder to cast though, but I think Timna Crom, like you were saying earlier, Curtis, just
still
start
viable.
slotting in all of the slower, more chunky, more. We're going to
you
be
still
here
have
for a long time, not a good time.
You still have Jessica's Will, so there you go.
In TK or in
In
Rob
TK.
Word. Oh, okay, for Crom. Yeah, that's
You
fair.
could also see Jessica's Will just in general having a rise in play because there isn't that explosive mana option of Dockside. So just I can see that for sure. And the other like big question, I guess, not like there will be shift because of these top four decks being pivoted out, but are all these mid-range tools coming in, these decks having more space to slot in these mid-range tools, is that enough to slow down Rogsai, or is Rogsai just going to be, a freight train that's like completely blowing past everybody because...
What if this is way worse for the format at the end of it all?
It just
looks like really bad overall, like really detrimental to everything. That would actually be so funny.
They just unban Dockside.
Rogsai is just the best deck, and it's not close no matter where you go, and it's like turmoil, and they're like, no, we won't ban anymore. Give it time, it's fine. And Rogsai just keeps going. Let's do it.
I'm very curious about that, like is that going to be enough to slow Rogsai down, or is Rogsai being set up to set up their own mana so quickly at such an aggressive curve compared to all the other decks that are popular in the format? Is that disparity going to go greater? Because a lot of those decks, like the way that they would catch up with Rogsai is that Rogsai would like vomit mana and then wheel, and then they would play a Dockside to catch up with Rogside because Rogside sprinted ahead, and their way to kind of, level the playing field if they were after Rogside in turn order was to cast a Dockside. But if that's one, if that's gone, and then two, there's nothing to punish Rogsai for just like spitting rocks and like partying, then what does that start to look like? And then like are those early Dranists and increased op agent and really having a lot of those mid-range decks hard mull for Ristic or Remora? Is that enough to deal with that,
Gimnagracios, that's the answer.
I think in the same way, it does also punish the Rogsai because Rogsai also did the same thing where maybe Rogsai's not going first, and they relied on the Dockside to pull them ahead when they're like, oh, I'm going to mulligan down to 3, and my mulligan down to 3 is, land crypt wheel or land Dockside or something like that. So now definitely we're seeing. I mean, I think it's gonna affect the Rogsai decks. The question is just proportionally, like how much does it affect them? I think it makes mulligans.
Yeah.
I think it makes mulligans a lot tougher. Like not having mana crypt, I think is probably going to be the biggest impact on the game, because it affects almost every deck, and I think it makes every deck's mulligans worse, because like who doesn't love to see a mulligan where you've got an opening hand with a mana crypt? It's like you almost like, I don't care what else is in my fucking hand, I got opening hand's got mana crypt in it, let's roll, because I'm gonna be able to do something. Right. I probably have 3 mana turn 1 because I've probably got a land in there. Or you're like, oh,
yeah, or your commander 2 turn sooner.
Yeah, or you're like, oh, I don't have any land, but I have Mana Crypt Talisman. Oh, I guess I'll keep.
Yeah.
It's like, how many no land hands can you do? And like, okay, I'm currently
very true.
I'm on 27 lands on Tivit. So maybe.
Oh yeah, we're gonna need more lands in every deck. Wait, okay, that's actually serious. Big talking point that we missed. Every deck, no Dockside. That's you need more lands. No mana crypt. You need more like.
You just
chat.
Yeah, land count will go up.
Do I just slot out a mana crypt and I put in a land instead of a mana crypt? Seems like
honestly. Yeah.
You were talking about City of Traders.
Yeah, I mean,
I was gonna say, Scott, I like for your deck, City of Traders, the other Talisman, potentially Cabal Ritual. The whole format slows down, and you're just like, well, I'm still gonna cast Tivit kind of early, like try to just balls to the wall.
Yeah, I'm not running the black-white
Talisman.
Brawl land or whatever, the
Vault of Champions?
Yeah, Vault of Champions. Yeah, I'm not on Vault of Champions, just because I've been favoring the like rainbow lands, so that might be a cut. I mean, honestly, I don't know. Maybe I cut Urza Saga.
Lake of the Dead.
Because Urza Saga just gets Urza Saga gets pretty bad if two of the like 4 things I generally go get with the Urza Saga is gone. It's a colorless land. It doesn't stick around.
Go get Mox Opal.
Yeah, but you know, if I don't already have Metalcraft, then Mox Opal is nothing. It's useless. So
Yeah. But in this world that we have to live in now, you play more artifacts. Is my thinking.
But I've lost 2 artifacts, and now I have to replace those 2.
Make a bong stroke.
Yeah, I think the relevant thing is you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think the relevant thing is you've lost 2 artifacts that Urza Saga could get, and the artifacts you're going to replace them with are not artifacts that Urza Saga can get.
Right. Yeah. It's
Listen up, chat.
It leaves me with like Soul Ring and Mana Vault to still get, which are still huge, but you know,
Mana Vault stock's going way up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think Mana Vault is like.
Yeah, Mana Vault and Grim Monolith is going up too.
Yeah, get your Grim Monoliths, y'all. We spec'd on Grim Monoliths before today because we knew it was coming. So buy your Grim Monoliths, buy your Mana Vaults. We're selling them, all right? Go to our website.
Yeah, right. I'm already on those cards. That's the problem. It's not like, oh, I know now I have room for Grim Monolith. I was already running Grim Monolith, so you know.
Right.
But I
You're cooked.
I think it might just be a land. I mean, give me another land for diamond.
Maybe an artifact land.
Oh, fuck that.
I mean, I fully expect.
I mean, artifact lands
For the mobile.
got a lot better. Artifact lands got a lot better all of a sudden.
There's the indestructible tap.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe. I don't know. Smothering Tide's crazy. Lots of stock just went up. Meanwhile, millions of dollars in stock just evaporated.
Yeah, check out this cool coaster I have. Dude, sweet coaster.
Yeah, right.
Hold on, I think I have that coaster somewhere.
Oh, you got one of these coasters too, dude?
Yeah, I do have that coaster.
Yeah, nice. Ooh, that's an old coaster.
Yeah, this one's actually a proxy because I was saying in our chat, like I love whiteboarder, and so I've been looking at the
Don't tell people that.
What? What?
I'm joking around. You said you like whiteboarder.
Yeah, I love whiteboarder. I've been looking at the old whiteboarder Spanish book promo and wanting to get it, and I almost pulled the trigger and got me one, and now I'm glad I did.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
On the other end of the spectrum, though, check this out. So I recently picked up another TCG that has really cheap cards to acquire. So I traded in one of the mana crypts that I'm not using right before this ban.
No way.
Yes.
Where?
Over at Frankenstein's.
Oh dang.
It was
what game? What card game?
Nailed it.
I picked up recently the One Piece card game.
No way!
Yeah, it's actually pretty fun.
Oh, dude, heck yeah! Come by Legacy, you can play or like pick stuff up.
This is how Alex tells us that he's been cheating on.
Yeah.
On live TV.
This is how we find out. This is how we catch up.
Find out about the other woman.
I mean, hey guys, you know. It was a lonely night, and it felt like my life.
That's awesome.
I know a guy at Watsy that warned me about this ban right before it happened. So
yo, dude, yo.
Oh, my bad. Don't want to burn it out. But yeah, that was the only shining light.
I'm wondering about the people over at Watsy, like what they think, or if they were like, no, please don't, because like. Like their thing is this, like what's the term that they use for a reprint value, or of like they have value in cards like mana
cards like desirability.
Yeah, because they know if they print a set, like how many people bought Lost Caverns of Ixalan because it had the neon mana crypts in it. Tons of people. I knew people who
Dude.
collectors packs for it and shit.
Bro, they just shipped that festival in a box.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
What was in that?
Okay, this thing right fucking here. What was in that? What was in that, chat? Let's see. There was a Jeweled Lotus pack.
Oh no!
Why would they sell us the pack if they knew? and there was a Mana Crypt pack as well.
Oh, dang.
Oh wow.
The entire reason to pay top dollar for these packs was those cards.
Crack open that Lost Caverns right now, man. On live TV. Let's go.
Hell no!
It's worthless.
Hey, dude, it's worthless anyways.
No, it's worthless. Crack that shit open. Let's see that.
Gonna say some other gamer is gonna open that. Hell no.
Just for sake of sadness and lament, just in the cards immediately surrounding me, I found 2 JLos,
Oh no.
2 Docksides,
Oh.
and 4 Mana Crypts.
Holy cow. Ugh.
My heart goes out to you, friend, and everybody that is in that same boat.
Have you considered our Lord and Savior Vintage?
How many vintage decks? And also, no one plays Dockside and JLo, so you need 4 vintage decks, Curtis. and you only have the cheapest card.
Yeah, right.
I'll let you know
Vintage.
how that goes for me after I finish crying myself to sleep tonight.
Damn, brother.
Just
Oh,
wipe
man.
your tears with the Mana Crypt, though.
Yeah.
I got sent a little video of someone they're on the toilet and they're about to wipe, and there's no toilet paper, and they grab a jeweled lotus and they put it on the toilet roll.
Yeah, we're now selling novelty rolls of toilet paper where the entire roll is just those banned cards.
Bro,
That would actually be pretty
let's
funny.
monetize this. Let's monetize the ban list, actually.
Oh, dude, it's too late, dude. I already said it in chat.
If you're watching right
You know,
now,
the people that sell Trump and Biden shirts, they don't vote for either one of them. They just sell shirts. They're just shirt people, you know?
Yeah. If you're watching
Shirt
right now,
people.
leave an L in the comments with your biggest loss. Did you have a special printing of a jeweled lotus or something that you just purchased this week or in the last month?
Yeah, what? How were you affected by the senseless banning?
Yeah, call this number now.
So, speaking of people like affected by recent purchases, I was obviously playing Blue's Clues for the last few months, and August was a great month for Blue's Clues. As far as like that deck in the public eye, me and Scotty and some other guys on the AMPS team. But Top Cut at Command, so that was a big tournament that was on EDH Top 16 that people saw, which was awesome. And then, Joe Top Cut the Top Deck Open with Blue's Clues, and then Eric Top Cut the Invitational with Blue's Clues. So on the Blue's Clues Discord, we had like tons of players who had like recently bought into the deck and were like, doing their big TCG player order where they're buying like 50% of the deck. And just, my heart goes out to anyone who recently invested in a deck that's centered around Dockside, is I guess what I'm saying. Because just, craziness.
You knew about this ban and you just got all these people into the deck?
Yeah, exactly. I'm just trying to shaft everyone, really.
It's people
Extort
like
them,
you.
trying to extort them.
Yeah.
Yo, somebody made a...
I don't play blind obedience.
If you're a therapist, put your email in the chat, and people will hit you up because they've got some issues they need to talk about.
Actually, yo, for real, bro.
Yeah, we're starting an Amped Gaming support Discord.
Did your deck just get murdered by the vandalists? Come talk to us.
Poor Shauna, dude. Our friend Shauna Giles is a leading Nib-Izzet builder, player, gamer.
Shauna is probably...
Someone replied to her Twitter and was like, "Is it really that bad?" And I responded, "That deck plays Goblin Recruiter for one card."
Yeah.
Matron. I think she played Goblin Matron too.
Dang, okay, the version I pulled didn't have it. What were you going to say, Alex, about Shauna?
No, I mean, Shauna's probably just like the best Niv player that I know.
Yeah.
I agree.
And, that's
Fully cooked to the max, nuke from orbit.
But check this out, though. I'm curious what she plays next, because whatever she plays next, I'm sure she's going to master it.
I'm worried. Hopefully she picks a deck up. Shout out Shauna.
Yeah, for real.
You know what card I've been eyeing? I've been looking at. It's one of these cards that is slammed in every big mana pre-con, and I was thinking about it for Niv-Mizzet. I was thinking about it for Tib.
Tulpa!
No, Geode Golem.
Whoa, I know what that does.
Hey.
Who knows what Geode Golem does in chat? Who in chat knows what Geode Golem does? It's like Geodude.
It's 5 mana, 5/5 trample. When it does combat,
5/3, I think.
Yeah, whatever it is. When it does damage to a player, you can cast your commander without paying its mana cost. Boom.
Does that get around the commander tax?
No, you still have to pay. It says without. You still have to pay additional costs, but yeah. Geode Golem back on the menu.
Sounds actually really good. Geodude Golem. All right, Scott, put your mouth where your deck is and put it in your deck, and let's play. Let's stream this week these new decks.
My deck where my mouth. Anyways, yeah.
Bro, you figured it out.
Oh, it's a steal right now on TCG Player. It's only 10 cents.
Oh yeah, because it comes in every precon that has like a big chunk of. Yeah.
But if you want, hold on. If you want the foil version, check this out. 17 cents. Nice.
I want the full art gilded foil.
That's more expensive than a jeweled lotus.
Burn.
Oh, nice. Curtis, play a sad song for the J-Lo holders out there.
If you're wondering why I'm fidgeting with guitars over here, it's because I am looking for the last remaining dice to go in this dice box before I head out for to play in my first ever post ban list sadness cEDH event.
Where are you going? What is it?
I'm going to the same event that Wayne is going to.
Odyssey Games in Pasadena.
Yes, Odyssey Games. Shout out Odyssey. Ben organizing a cool cEDH league there for anyone who's Los Angeles local. It's every Monday night.
I'm gonna have to start going to that.
Same.
It's a fun time.
Oh, you live nearby again, Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I've texted a few friends to make sure that they can meet me there with the couple cards I don't have from Blue Farm. 2 of them being Timna and Crom. Kind of important cards in that list.
Is it just,
and we're gonna see.
Is it just show up and play, or does it you pay and there's prizes, or how's it work? If you have time to explain.
So it is $5 per round. So you can show up and play 1 round, or if you want to play all night, you can pay $5 per round. If you win a round, you get $15 of store credit. So if you have if you win once, unless you lose 3 times in a row, you can hypothetically play for free for quite some time.
Yeah, no kidding. That sounds awesome.
How many
So,
J-Los can you get
it's
store credit?
I mean, at this point, proxies are allowed. There are no regulations.
Sorry. Play test cards for all the WotC employees watching our stream and who follow our content. We know the lingo. They're play test cards, okay?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Play test cards are allowed, and let me tell you, with this ban list, I'm going to need a lot of play testing.
Like this week when we battle with our new deck. No one tell anyone what they're bringing.
No. I mean, you could already try to guess what I'm playing, but yeah.
Okay, everyone gets 3 guesses what everyone else is playing.
Yeah. Thanks for
the other deck. It's not these guys.
No.
We
Dude, poor Will and Lucas.
We are going to have a gameplay video dropping this week with Alan from Mental Misplay. It may or may
Yes.
not.
I didn't even know about that!
It may or may not have some banned cards in it. We still have some episodes in the can that definitely have banned cards. I was looking through my opening hand because I was playing Malcolm Tavesh. My opening hand was like Jewel Lotus, like Mana Crypt land. I was
Cheater. Judge.
Yeah, that deck is gone. That deck is gone now. I really like that deck and that was a deck I was considering like building in real life because I thought it had a lot of potential. But losing Crypt and Jeweled Lotus is really tough for that.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's just have a new sub format that we only play with each other and work on our own list of rule 0. We could decide ahead of time which cards we like and don't like. And if I personally don't like a card, then That's too much. We didn't talk about Mox Amber. I think Mox Amber just got better, specifically in Rogsai.
I am gonna head out and try my hand in this brave new world. So,
All right, brother.
wonderful talking to all of you. All of you guys watching, good luck building your new decks. Follow us, like and subscribe, all of those things. You rock.
Peace, brother.
Cool.
Heck yeah.
Well, I mean, I feel like.
Heck yeah. Thanks for hanging out with us, you guys. This has been awesome.
Yeah, I feel like we've
to
said
do.
everything that we need to say. You guys have any closing statements? Any you want to say a eulogy for any of the cards that we lost here today?
Play the world's smallest violin right here. Just real. No, man. I mean, like, hey, it was fun while it lasted playing these cards. But I think the best way to cure your sadness is to look forward to what's gonna come, and just get creative. I mean, at this point, you can either choose to mourn the loss of these great cards or just embrace what's gonna come. And I think now at this point, moving forward, playing cEDH and going into these tournaments is going to be a really fun experience. And I guess for new players out there getting into cEDH, now's the time to do it. You don't have to buy a Mana Crypt, you don't have to buy a Dockside or JLo, and there's a lot of creativity that's going to be taking place and seeing what works out there. And if you were ever curious about getting into cEDH and maybe those cards were out of your spectrum of what you wanted to play, well, now's the time. Now's the time to jump in and see what it's about.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Big agree. I want to say a few things. You go, Scott.
Honestly, I'm glad I unloaded all those Shukas.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Anybody that unloaded Shukos, good on you, man. But yeah, man. Hey.
Sorry, go ahead, Evan.
I just wanted to reiterate to anyone out there, two key things about Commander and the Rules Committee. The Rules Committee's #1 priority is casual Commander, and I think that's important to keep in mind when you direct your energy, whether it's positive or negative, anywhere in the Commander sphere, that they think they're doing the best they can for the vast majority of Commander players. People who aren't online right now watching this, that's who they're looking out for. People who aren't online all the time. They're real people, and we can't be saying hateful things about them. If you see that stuff, flush it out. Stand up for just being positive. You can be upset, but you don't have to be negative about it. I'm really excited to brew some decks.
Yeah, I mean,
at
the
sure.
end of the day, this is a game that we love to play because it brings people together and we have a lot of fun playing it, and it's fun playing absolute maximum power. It's fun pushing the cards that are legal to their limits, and we lost a couple good soldiers today, but we're gonna move on, and I love this idea that it opens us up to playing new and different cards, to slightly different play styles, to certain decks getting better, certain decks getting worse. I do feel bad for people who invested money in the cards, and I think that to me is like the only real downside to this kind of stuff, because it is a game, and
Agreed.
If your deck's not as good as it used to be, blah blah blah, other than somebody else's deck and play styles and all this kind of stuff, it does suck if you, especially recently, like I bought a box of Double Masters like when Double Masters first came out, and that's how I got my Mana Crypt, and I was happy as hell to pull that Mana Crypt out of there, and I feel like it was a good investment for the time I had it. And now it's almost worthless. I don't say it's worthless, but it's definitely whatever it's worth is whatever it's worth. But I do feel bad for anybody who got in recently in any of those cards. That fucking sucks.
It does.
I hope it doesn't.
Or one out.
Yeah. I hope it doesn't discourage you from keeping the play, and maybe this is like case for the proxies a little bit more. I don't know. I don't want to get into that discussion right now, but thanks everybody.
Playtest card.
Playtest. Thanks everybody for joining us and coming on Absolute.
Thank you guys.
We got some more stuff coming up. We're gonna keep making videos. Wayne, who was on earlier, is new on the team doing editing for us, making my job a lot easier so we can pump out videos a little bit faster, and that's what we're aiming to do. So, stay with us and keep supporting us. We love you guys, and we're going to keep making content. We're going to keep playing games. We're going to try to do more stuff like this, more tournament reports, maybe more streaming games, all that fun stuff. So,
see you guys very soon.
We're gonna man. If you're in LA, we got a panel with Joe Johnson and Ben Bateman.
LA Comic-Con.
LA Comic-Con, and a Krim, the Asian Avenger, is going to be there. We're going to be talking
Avenger.
We're going to talk about how is Magic the greatest it's ever been, and this will give us some good fuel for
cancel the panel. Cancel the panel.
This will be some good fuel for conversation. So you guys take care out there.
Heck yeah.
And don't forget to share.
Peace out, you guys. We love you. Do it.
Thank you guys.